Hi Bhavna, welcome
Hello.
to Spectrum Stories.
Thank you so much for having me here.
That's great to have you here. Let's begin with first getting to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So, where have you studied? What have you done? And a little exciting things about you of what your hobbies or what you like to do the most.
Okay. Well, I have done my MBBS from BJ Medical College, Pune. And then I went on to pursue my MD in dermatology, venerology, and leprosy from the prestigious GS Medical College and KEM Hospital of Mumbai.
Wow.
Okay. That is way back in 2009 that I passed from there. And then gradually I shifted from Mumbai to Pune, and now currently I am in Belgaum as the head of the dermatology department at another prestigious college, which is the Jain Medical College and KLE Hospital.
Oh, that's lovely. And
Yes.
you're born and brought up here in Belgaum?
No, I am born and brought up in Pune.
Wow, you're a Pune girl.
I am a Puneite. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And coming to what I like, yes, anything which relaxes my mind. So reading books, listening to music, and off late, since the past 4 years, I like to spend a lot of time with my plants and my pug, my pet. Yes.
Oh, that's really very nice.
Yes.
So, today, more or less, want to know about how skincare and you know the whole idea of dermatology is about from you. We've had a lot of conversations before coming here,
Yes.
and there is a lot I think that you can, as a doctor, as a person, can really contribute. So we will first start off and begin with wanting to know कि आजकल latest as such trends in skin diseases kaho ya skin disorders kaho,
Yes.
what are they
Mm-hmm.
and how has the trend changed over a period of time?
Time. Okay, well, good question. So I would like split it up as per the age group and tell you. So if we see in kids in like around 10 years, 12 years of age, we have been seeing a lot of premature graying of hair, which the parents come complaining of. Second thing is pigmentation on the neck, pigmentation in the underarms. Okay, at a very young age, and normally they attribute it thinking ki it's just because of tanning or it's because of just dirt. But actually if you look into it, you look at these people, they are little oversized, they are on the higher side of the body mass index, and they're basically acanthosis nigricans as we call them, which is one of the marker of insulin resistance. So in kids, these two things which were more commonly getting seen. Then coming to middle age, like specifically if you say middle age females, you can see a lot of them coming with a lot of acne related issues, and they are more so in the jawline area. Along with that, some of them may also simultaneously complain of thinning of the hair or hair fall. So this basically, along with the weight gain issues, pointers are there ki they have underlying hormonal imbalances in the form of PCOD.
Hmm.
Again, in males also there has been a trend like what we used to see in 50s,
Hmm.
late 40s and 50s. So thinning of the hair, like male
Hmm.
pattern baldness. Now we are seeing it even like around 20s to 30s. So there has been like maybe a 10 to 20 years faster
Hmm.
changes that
Hmm.
we are seeing
Hmm.
currently in the
Hmm.
kind of patients that approach to us in our setup.
Hmm.
So I think all of this have a common connect,
Hmm.
and this is what we call as a lifestyle disorder, which we are facing all together at all levels. Okay, so why I'm saying lifestyle is, um, you remember in our times as a child, okay, almost everything would be cooked at our
Hmm.
place,
Hmm.
and now we have Blinkit, we have Zepto, which is getting us things within 10 minutes. Okay, we have
Absolutely.
a lot of fast food chains almost everywhere. Next to colleges, you will see a lot of Pizza Huts, you will see
Yeah.
Domino's,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
McDonald's.
yes, so fast food chains. Okay, And even the trend has changed in the families. Now all families would want to go out and have dinners on the weekends. So
Yeah.
actually, yes, so that is one thing. So the kind of food that we are consuming is not the ones which our parents or maybe our grandparents have been consuming. So if you see longevity also, grandparents, parents, they're almost having a good longevity. They're
Right.
crossing 70s
Right.
also.
Right.
But with the kind of food that we are ingesting, so I'm not talking only about junk food and fast food. Another pertinent issue which we have to and everyone has to seriously take is what is happening and what is coming in our blood, that is microplastics. Okay, these disrupt our hormonal system altogether. They are also endocrine disruptors in the form of microplastics that we are ingesting day in and day out. Okay,
Okay.
so be it drinking water from plastic bottle, getting food packed in plastics. Okay,
Correct.
so this is over a period of time causing a lot of damage to our internal organs, and at the same time this is going to, or it is actually manifesting in our appearances, so in our skin, in our hair, in our nails. So this is the current trend which we have been observing in our practice.
So you mean to say that usually when we have this thinning of hair or breaking of nails that has started happening in 30s now, which would rather happen a little later in the life earlier, is actually not when we say ना कि अरे अभी 30s की हो गई है इसके लिए है, अभी तो ये ऐसा ही होता है, you know, 40s में है तो ऐसा ही होता है. So it's actually not that. What you mean to say is that your food habits, your gut health.
Yes. So everything is getting changed by the day. Okay. So the more your gut flora is changing, it's affecting your overall well-being. The more that you are consuming, which is changing the gut flora, is reflecting on all the different aspects of your like skin, because skin is actually visible, right? So like I would want to say this ki skin is like your medical kundli. Okay. Yeah. So whatever is going wrong underneath in your body, at many times your skin gives it out, provided the person looks into it properly, means your physician or your dermatologist. So when you go, and if he's very observant with these things, he'll be actually able to pick up a lot more things before actually you go and get yourself tested for.
But then again, you know, sometimes there is always this whole thing about what you eat definitely defines your skin.
Yes.
But in one of the conversations that we were having, you mentioned mental health is also
very
a kind of a
important, yes.
you know, trigger.
It reflects
on your skin is what you mentioned.
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
So there are like two aspects to it. There are some conditions which get exacerbated in our field in dermatology if you are having an upset mind, if you are having a disturbed mind. And then there are certain conditions which are predisposed. Now I'll give you an example. So what increases, like if you are already having pre-existing condition like psoriasis, for example, or you are having acne. Okay. Now if you see many patients who come to me for acne, if you ask them, what happened, are you going through some exams, or are you going through some stress or job related issues, so they will definitely say ki, well, they had this patch of stress and they are facing more breakouts. For psoriasis, okay, now not only psoriasis has got a multifactorial origin, but psoriasis definitely gets exacerbated because of the stress. Why? It's a two-way cycle. Okay, because it affects the skin. Skin is something which is reflecting your personality. So imagine if you have psoriasis on the scalp and you're flaking all over, if you're having palms and soles involved in psoriasis, so you might be feeling a lot more hesitant to have a handshake with your colleagues. So this keeps you withdrawn, you know. You might want to avoid social circles when you're having a flare of the disease. So it becomes a vicious circle. So more depression, you get more
Oh,
exacerbation.
okay.
So this is what we see in cases of psoriasis.
Okay.
For that matter, even one big problem in our country is vitiligo. Okay,
Okay.
so vitiligo is nothing but the white patch disease
Hmm.
that we come across.
Hmm.
And in our country, specifically, when a lady or when a young child gets it,
Yes.
the entire family goes into a state of depression, because suppose it's on the exposed area, you can't even hide it, and
Right.
there are people talking about it.
Right.
Imagine what a child is facing through when he goes to school.
Yeah.
Okay, so people will be teasing him. In our times, when we used to wear spectacles, we would be called double battery, you know. So imagine what a child goes through when he goes to school, and he's got these patches, spotty, and things like that. So he is not interested in going to school. He will make all sorts of reasons to avoid going to school. So how skin is affecting mental health, you can see this way. So it affects his studies. It makes him uncomfortable. He will not want to play with his friends. Okay, so whatever is seen has a lot of impact on a person's mind, and also impact is more when people around you are not there to support you for what
Got it.
you are.
Got
Okay,
it.
so if there are people who are going to like have pointers at you, then you're not going to be comfortable. Imagine a teenager having a breakout, single breakout, wants to go for a date. You can understand what all that person wants to do to hide that one pimple,
Yeah.
to look the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how important it is now.
So you mean to say that it is very essential now to keep a track of your overall health. Like when you see something on the skin, it's also a pointer that there
It's
is
a
something
clue.
wrong in the
Yes.
body as such.
Yes.
And
Sometimes it's a big clue.
oh, is it?
Yes.
Like what kind of situation, if you can
So,
say?
for example, like I'll tell you, when a patient walks into our setup or a clinic, and we kind of observe the patient from top to bottom. So, in case we are like when the patient walks in and we are seeing a like young girl having thinning of the hair, having a little extra hair growth over the upper lips or the sideburn. Simultaneously, she's having these pimples which are more in number, more so over the jawline, and a little plump. So we almost get to know that this girl probably is having some symptoms of PCOS, which is running under
Correct.
the background. So gives us a hint, helps us to inquire more and convince these patients that these are also happening, and these are the investigations which will help us to verify what is thought process behind what the doctor is thinking, and you need to seek help for it. Okay. Another thing in this is endocrine issues. In females, they end up going and consulting gynecologists, whereas this is a hormonal problem.
Okay.
So please go and consult your endocrinologist or a hormone doctor. Your
Oh.
issue with gynec or with a obstetrician will only come when it comes to conceiving. So that is not the time when you're going to go and get it rectified. Ki now I've got married, now I want to conceive, then I go to a gynec, and then there's infertility issue. At the point one, you need to go and you need to consult and get it fixed. And there is no quick fix. Okay, that is the most important thing, because what plays behind this is what you're eating, your exercise, your water intake, your mental health, your physical health, everything.
So again, skin is like a reflection of your overall health.
Overall system, your body. Yes.
And you're saying that a lot of external factors and internal factors itself
Both.
matter
Yes.
to the skin health.
Yes.
How much do you think that people are now becoming more aware of taking care of skin as such? And do you really, like now when you mentioned you know, you really need to go to the right kind of doctor, say for instance that if you have a PCOD, you need to see the right kind of doctor for yourself. So do you think that when people come to you and वो पूछते हैं कि अच्छा समझो एक्ने आया है या कुछ आया है, तो फिर in that case they say कि नहीं PCOD नहीं, लेकिन आप ही दवाई दे दो, you know, you only cure this off or whatever it is. Does that happen with you?
Yeah, it happens to quite some extent. they don't want to accept ki that problem is existing. So we have ways of dealing with them. So what we tell them very nicely is certain basic diet modifications, because for PCOS actually reduction in weight helps to matlab,
A lot of extent, yeah.
a lot of extent. So even tweaking simple things in their diet makes a lot of difference, like just shifting the patient from chapati to roti, asking the patient to have a bowl or a plate of salad before your meals. Okay,
Got it.
cut down on maida, cut down on processed food. Okay, even if not all, by 50%. Once the patient starts noticing ki after doing this there are changes which are visible, then they become more receptive to what the doctor is going to tell them. So basically they need to be convinced by simple things. You need to gain trust in them, and then once they have faith in you, the next level is ki actually convince them with the blood test, and tell them ki see this additionally beyond this, it is the domain of this person.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And once they say, for instance, correct it,
Mhm.
and they come back to you.
Mhm.
So then, what is the kind of approach that you have? Like, if the person's still left with some marks or something, then now there is this whole big trend of A's that using these very super hyped products like the
Yes.
snail mucin
Yes.
and the vitamin C's
Mhm.
and Riedel shots, and then there are these treatments that go into it. Like I know this thing that there is PRP being
Yes. Yes.
done and stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't know much about it,
Mhm.
but can you what do you think about all of these things basically?
Okay, well, PRP, if you say PRP is not restricted to skin, okay, first I need to tell you this. PRP also is used a lot by orthopedicians. Okay, PRP is also used for healing of non-healing ulcers in the
Oh.
body, and PRP is also used for rejuvenation. PRP is also used to induce or to improve the thickness of the hair. Okay, PRP is also used for treatment of acne scars. We are also using PRP to treat stretch marks. Okay, so it has got a wide applicability. And the reason behind why it works is it is autologous, means we are drawing your own blood. Okay, we are centrifuging it at certain parameters, and we are extracting the growth factors which we are injecting in the body so as to stimulate growth of collagen, because collagen is something which is required for rejuvenation. Okay, in the hair, again the growth factors are going to act at the level of the bulb and stimulate the hair thickness and improve the textural aspect of the hair. In acne scars, again, because there is a damage to the second layer or dermal aspect of the skin, there again when we inject it, the growth factors are going to stimulate the fibroblasts to synthesize collagen, which is going to improve your overall appearance.
Okay.
So yeah, PRP works, but there are different techniques or ways to extract it. And I want to stress upon this, there are many people who are doing it who are not qualified to do it. Okay, so there is one thing like you'll say quackery thing like that. So see, PRPs to be done for skin related conditions, get it done from a dermatologist who's qualified, who knows what is the depth of your problem.
Correct.
Where to inject, what level to inject, rather than at random going to people who have not undergone a 3-year plus maybe a fellowship training in aesthetics. So nowadays everyone gets a 6 weeks course, 4 weeks course from XYZ, and they proclaim ki they are cosmetologists. So please, there is no degree like a cosmetology degree which the government of India is giving. Okay, so authorize people to practice aesthetic or what do you say, there's nothing cosmetology, okay, no degree. But beauticians, because
Huh.
they deal with your
Huh.
face cosmetics.
Huh.
So they cosmetics is nothing but products that you are applying to enhance your features, okay.
Got it.
So they are not the people who are entitled to treat you for your skin conditions, because a skin doctor has been trained for a period of 3 years to understand what problem. So imagine if you go to someone like in a parlor, you have a number of people offering you chemical peel treatment, you know, for your pigmentation or for your acne. So now if imagine if it's a hormonal problem where there is a PCOS, do you think that is going to really solve your problem till the end, till you don't have your hormones rectified, till you're not losing weight, till you're not on the antibiotics to reduce the process of breakouts and scarring? So just like doing a patchwork is not going to be helpful. I have people who go to parlors and then they are convinced that their pigmentation or melasma will disappear with these 2 types of cream, gori cream, Arabic cream, you name it.
Yes,
And
snail mucin.
no, snail mucin has its moisturizing properties.
Yeah, really?
Yes,
it's good.
Yeah, it will help. But this gori thing which is there to get your blemishes out,
right,
I'll tell you, it ends up like taking a toll on your face. You end up with this steroid damaged faces, because these creams have steroid in some amount in them.
Okay.
And steroid ka side effect is gorapan lana.
Acha.
Okay, hypopigmentation.
Okay.
So these are incorporated in this gori cream. So please, when you're taking these creams, please look at the contents.
Okay.
Don't go and take a dubby and then start applying because your XYZ friend said. Okay. Because side effect उसका है color faint करने वाला तो करने ही वाला है. But the day you stop using it, you know what happens? Your skin is dry, it's patchy, it's damaged, you get more breakouts, you get excessive growth of hair. Okay. And it's like alcohol. Now you stop using the cream, you get more breakouts. Okay. You stop using the cream, you feel the pigmentation is coming back. So there is no end to it. And you know how much efforts a dermatologist has to take to get you back to the normal.
Oh, okay.
So if you applied that cream for a month, we have to take efforts for maybe months altogether to get your skin barrier repaired, to get your adversities like thinning of the skin back to normal. So it's a big task on us to get it back to normal. So don't get misled. There are no quick fixes for skin problems. Only application doesn't solve. There are many other things for this which has to be complementary. Okay. And what's your take on sunscreens? Because it's such a huge thing right now. And we see every second brand is now coming up with sunscreen. And there are so many of them in the market. Abhi kya aaya hai? The watery format which you can actually apply. Yes. And then there is, you know, no cast creams and stuff like that. Yeah. So, does it really play a role in... My genuine question is, a lot of products that we see today are more or less a little from the West. And the skin routines are also from the West. West and from Korea. Yeah, Korean, the glass skin craze. Yes. Which apparently and I Japan found also, when... so this is a little thing that I do every night, and I wanted to have a glass skin, and I did order a lot of products for myself and stuff. I never achieved it. But one night randomly I landed up applying castor oil because it was too cold. And the moisturizer was not just working, and I was still feeling a lot of it. And I landed up applying castor oil. I'm a little also scared of coconut oil because I feel it makes my skin more dark. Yeah. But castor oil, I just very randomly applied out of irritation ke yaar kuch to acha feel ho ye abhi, you know, it's a little thicker. Yes. So when you apply, I felt, you know, like a drop or two, which I usually apply here for growth or on my lashes for the growth. It does help for and next growth, morning my skin was something else. It was glowing. It was glowing. Yes. So I want to know, so from you know sludging? No. So sludging is basically applying this white petroleum products like Vaseline
Huh?
too much on the face. So it actually
Oh,
gives you that glow. So it's basically the reflectance, the light reflectance which a well moisturized skin is going to give you. So that glow basically that you are looking for is actually a good toned moisturized skin which
okay.
gives, and
Okay.
obviously blemish free भी रहना चाहिए,
Right.
scar free भी रहना चाहिए.
Right.
But if it is having adequate amount of moisturizer within it, so it's more supple and it gives you that look.
So what I've noticed is that being an Indian skin tone, I've never found that in Indian skin as such, correct me if I'm wrong, like how we have in Western or in other countries, we don't have an even skin tone.
Yeah,
Somehow,
yeah,
I've
because it
noticed,
depends. See where we are staying,
huh,
what latitude we are in. Okay, so across India, if you see northern belt people are so fair.
yeah, and they have a problem that we are too fair for anything.
Yes, and you see the southern, I mean, go down, you
You see a lot of brown skin,
yes. So there is
brown and
lot
dark
of
brown, and then
variation
we
that is
British,
because
yeah,
of the location as well as our genetics.
correct,
Okay, so
correct,
these two are going to play a lot of role in what products actually are going to suit you and which are not going to suit you. So if
okay,
there's something which suits you,
hmm.
doesn't actually mean it suits the other person. To be very simple, say I have a person who's
Hmm.
come to me with acne.
Hmm.
Okay, and one of them has got a oily skin and one of
Hmm.
them has got a dry skin.
Hmm.
Okay, so
And both of
my
them have acne.
and both of them have acne, so
Okay.
the products are going to be different which is going to be prescribed by the
Hmm.
doctor.
Hmm.
It can't be identical.
Hmm.
So some people actually like friends come na,
Hmm.
sometimes they feel अच्छा इसको ये दे दिया ना डॉक्टर ने, मैं भी यही यूज कर लूंगी, मेरा भी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. But
Yeah.
then they end up
Yeah.
maybe with more complications,
Yeah.
because you have to discuss your skincare with your doctor. Don't just assume things. Sometimes you may not be knowing things which your doctor will tell you ki, oh, this also exists. Okay,
Right. Right.
so identifying your skin type, so whether it is a dry skin, whether it's a oily skin, whether it's a combination skin, whether it's a sensitive skin, so all this is something which needs to be assessed.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
again after that assessment there are certain things beyond which the doctor might want to find out ki if you're allergic to some things
Hmm.
which he has to consciously avoid.
Hmm.
So after so much of discussion then comes the prescription. So
Hmm.
do you feel ki whatever you are seeing on Insta, whatever
Hmm.
you are seeing on Facebook,
Hmm.
whatever you are seeing on YouTube, have these people actually come and ask you regarding what is your issues and
Right.
these problems
Right.
which they are showcasing are going to fix it?
Right.
No,
No.
because still the person who has not studied that in depth,
Hmm.
how is that person qualified enough to tell you ki this is a quick fix solution? I really don't understand.
Hmm.
And this is more applicable to our parlor friends or
Hmm.
our friends, the so-called proclaimed cosmetologists.
Hmm.
So this is basically what I want to say is quackery.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Hmm.
you are trying to go into a field of someone else
Hmm.
and try to practice that without having to know much about it,
Hmm.
and you end up giving complications to
Hmm.
this patient. So it's not correct. Okay,
Hmm.
I'll give you one instance. Not cosmetology related but quackery. Okay,
Hmm.
so I had this young girl who was about to get married in a month or so. She had come with a fiance
Hmm.
to my clinic, and she had this mildly white patches on her, like chest and truncal area,
Hmm.
and she looking pretty upset. So like she showed me, and I told her, well, nothing much, you'll like get back the color in those patches within a month or so, and it's a very like not a major thing, it's just a type of fungal infection which we call
Oh.
as pityriasis versicolor. Okay,
Okay.
and for 2 minutes she was not ready to say anything. So I asked her what happened. I mean, you're not happy with me telling you ki you don't have a major problem at all. I mean, what's wrong with you? So she told me ki, ma'am, I don't know whether I should cry now or whether I should be extremely happy. I'm like, why, what happened? So she's like, ma'am, before I came to you, I consulted at a chain of some well-known homeopathy clinic, where after 30 minutes of consultation I was told ki I have got vitiligo, which is a white patch disease, and I need to undergo blood test. And I was given like what you say, a package of 20,000 rupees or something for a period of 6 months.
For a
Yeah,
20,000 package
20,
that was been
yes,
recommended to her.
yes. And it was told to her ki we'll be subsequently doing some blood tests in context to confirming the diagnosis and stuff like that. So I actually told her ki for fungal infection, there's a very simple bedside test which we do, which is this Woods lamp examination. So we just see it under this fluorescent light, and it enhances and it looks a little yellowish in color. And that's as simple as that. You really need not go for any blood test to confirm this. If you have to differentiate also from vitiligo or the white patch disease and the fungal infection, this is the simplest thing you can do, you know. So at that point she was like, I'm feeling terrible. I feel I've got conned. And that's how it happened. And then actually I had to give it to her in writing. I confirm this is this thing. We have done this test for her, and this is not vitiligo, and this is a fungal infection. And with that letter, she actually went to claim whatever money.
She did that?
She did that.
That's great.
Yes.
That's
So
great.
I was happy that I was able to help her, but at the same time, I had to be a little send a message to her. And then I had to tell her ki see, educated people like you, she is an engineer, okay, I'll tell you. So I said, ma'am, educated people like you, if you don't look for correct degrees, and you land up in this kind of problem, who is to blame?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So please look for qualified people. Look for the MD in dermatology, venerology, and leprosy degree, or look for DDV, that is diploma in dermatology.
1 second. Tell me, if now I, as a layman, want to say consult a doctor as such, we usually are being told ke go to a general physician, your whatever family doctor is, and then that family doctor recommends a doctor.
Will direct you.
Yeah, will direct you.
Yes.
But then in case, say for instance, I don't have that kind of process, or maybe I don't have that kind of a source, then what are the kind of people that we should be looking at, and what are the kind of things that you should be avoided? Because sometimes even when I go to a salon or something, and if I ask them to do something, they always say ki ma'am, aap skin ke doctor ke paas jao. They themselves also don't know.
So there are very few people who will be genuinely giving an advice, and there will be very few people who will be marketing their things. They will, because they're incentivized to push certain things to the customers. So always, that's what I said. First, you look for these degrees. Look for a degree, whether there's MD Skin and BD, or MD DDV, or diploma in like dermatology and venerology and leprosy. These are the degrees. And DNB, that is another diplomat in national board. These are the degrees which you need to look for. There are many people who might just write MD and finish it off. So MD degree is also achieved by homeopathy people also. MD is also there in Ayurvedic also. So please look further beyond that. Okay. Means choose your doctor wisely. That is what I want to advise. Okay. I'm not saying ki homeopathy and Ayurvedic people are not able to treat skin disease. They do at times. Means way back, in fact, only Ayurveda was existing. But only thing is, when they try to mix their things and they want to write prescriptions of allopathy where they are not adequately trained in that. So that is our means angst against them. So if I am trained in something, I will be more comfortable in my zone in prescribing those things. Versus now we have even dentists who have come into our field of cosmetology. So if you see, the clinics will have the skin, hair, dental, everything at one place. So and we fail to understand how dentists can treat
But
acne.
ain't it also known as multi-speciality clinic or something? That's what they call. I mean, as a layman.
No, if they are having a dermatologist over there to consult, fine.
Okay.
But if they are doing this so-called cosmetology courses and then saying ki they're going to do PRP, they're going to do things
Smile
like
correction.
smile correction is their domain. You're not going to get into it. Please go ahead and do. Okay,
Correct.
but don't tell you're going to treat hair. Please don't say that. That's not your domain. Don't say you're going to correct pigmentation. That's not your domain, please.
Oh, okay. So you
Okay.
mean to say that going to a proper doctor, that will
help you in the sense not spend untoward money, not get into complications, and get you to the correct person where you actually supposed to reach.
Okay. Okay. So from the entire conversation that we've had up until now, all that I've understood is the fact that to get the right kind of doctor for yourself, your skin problems are not just something that the skin has to do only with aging or in certain sections of ages. It's also got to do with your gut health, your mental health, your stress levels. So you
and
need
your
to
internal system.
So if
your
you
immunity, have heart
immunity,
issues,
okay,
if you have lung issues, if you have kidney issues, that also a dermatologist is the first person who can pick up.
Oh, okay.
So if you are seeing a person who's having extremely dry skin, xerotic skin, and then there are these bumpy lesions on your skin, and the hollowing of the face, thinning of the hair, you ask them, the patient will tell you ki, well, I have been put on water restriction. So we can easily identify ki this patient could be a case of chronic kidney disease.
Oh,
okay.
So
that is how it is. So your skin speaks for your entire system.
So this is what it is very important to understand, that the skin speaks for the body. And then it is very important to go to the right kind of doctor.
I'll tell you red flags in this. Okay. Red flags are if a person is pushing you too much to do a particular procedure. If a person is pushing you too much to buy this particular product. Okay. So these are red flags.
Okay.
No one is going to genuinely push you to do something.
Okay.
Because there are ways of doing that particular thing even if you don't want that procedure to be done. So a dermatologist might give you a basket of options. This can be done, this can be done, this can be done. And he will not push you to do that.
Correct.
He will not push you to buy expensive packages.
Right.
Okay. So these are the red flags.
Okay.
So you see glamour, you see marketing outside in the reception. You should understand what you're going to get inside also. Okay.
And so from the conversation that we've had so far, I've understood and realized that it is very important to take care of your skin, which is a big huge sign of what is happening inside your body. It shows.
That's what. Listen to your skin.
Listen to your skin.
Yes.
So yeah, listen to your skin. It's important.
Second aspect to this is listen to your patient. They tell you almost everything. You just have to listen. But
that's the problem, that
you just have to listen. They fall short of telling you the diagnosis. I'll tell you. They almost tell you everything. So if you have everything, all your things right, if you have done your basic homework right, you will be able to pick up what they have to say. So first is the patient has to listen to his skin, and the doctor has to listen to the patient. So
the doctor, you need to find a doctor who will listen to you. Is what you mean to say?
Who connects to you.
Okay.
Who has a rapport with you. I have people who come to me, just to talk.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Because I mean, maybe the problem is almost gone. Okay. There's no itching, there's no, hardly any pigmentation, but they will just come because they just want to come and talk to you. And like this, there are many senior citizens who come, to talk. Because now we have a generation where parents are here and children are abroad.
Correct.
So now this generation is one who wants to connect, who wants to talk. And they have like this 5 minutes WhatsApp call connecting there. They want someone to talk to. Okay. So they will just come under the garb of consultation just to
Yeah,
talk to
just have
you.
a conversation
Yes,
with you.
and sometimes that conversation becomes so intent that you actually share your own things, and the patient connects to you. And eventually, I have some patients who don't even have skin issues, but they will come to me and tell, "Aap hi treat karo." Then I'll say, "No, this is not my domain, but I can tell you who's the
Hmm.
correct person to go."
Hmm.
But they have so much of faith in you
Hmm. Hmm.
कि ये डॉक्टर साहब ने बोला है ना,
Hmm.
ये डॉक्टर के पास जाना है, तो correct. Doctor is correct.
Correct.
We will go only there. Blind
Correct.
faith.
Correct. But that's, I think, so such a nice thing that you said, because usually when we go to doctors in at least in tier 1 cities, the fact that you have such big names, and then there are big queues, and then there is immediate diagnosis. Like as you said, that you just jump onto diagnosis. You don't listen to the patient, and that's such a
Patient will not be happy. Even when patient comes walking, so many times the doctor knows the diagnosis. At least dermat, I can tell you when the patient comes walking. But if you don't touch the patient, okay, that feel which is there, na, that's a human feel, okay. Otherwise, AI is there only now. Huh? So that
Yeah.
feel is important. That's
Yeah.
a mother's touch is very important for a child.
Yeah.
So if that thing, that contact is not there, the patient is never satisfied. If you don't get up and see the patient, you don't touch the patient, they're not going to really be happy. Even if you hit the right diagnosis, fungal infection sometimes, okay, you can identify from a distance so many times if it's there on the visible parts of the body. Nail fungal infection hai, सब आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं, बट टिल यू डोंट टेक दैट पर्सन्स हैंड, यू डोंट सी दैट पर्सन्स नेल्स, दैट person will never have that connect with you. And sometimes I tell you that connect works.
Okay. Tell me, as a dermatologist, we always feel it's about just the acne, or making us look good.
Yes.
But if I have to ask you a question, that if someone wants to take up dermatology as a career, or if you have to explain your work, what exactly do the dermats do other than just telling me that I have pigmentation and acne?
Okay. So actually, dermatology is an offshoot of medicine. Okay. So is psychiatry. Okay. So is respiratory medicine. So we are a branch of medicine. So what happens in our field is, because skin is visible, is the largest organ of the body, we are in a position to do so many things, in the sense ki because it matters, your appearance matters. So we are obviously dealing with the aesthetic part also. But please don't forget, because we are an offshoot of medicine field, we are also dealing with certain gross conditions which can be life threatening. Okay. So if I give you a very simple example, a patient who's coming with a drug rash, okay, so with a painkiller, or following intake of a sulfa based antibiotic, okay, so in these patients they come with peeling of the skin all over the body, okay, and they almost look like a burns patient. So if we don't pick this up, if we don't diagnose, if we don't admit this patient, don't stop the medicines which have been implicated in that, don't hydrate, don't start the appropriate immunomodulator, we have actually lost patients. Okay, so if you feel ki dermatology doesn't deal with life and death, then you're highly mistaken.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So
this is actually an eye opening for me.
Yes.
Because I felt that this is just about, and for everything else that you mentioned, I thought that probably you need a different kind of a surgeon or a person, but this is, can you please tell us more?
Yes, so this is one example. I can give you more examples. We have these conditions where we get blisters on the body, which we call as pemphigus vulgaris. Okay, so this was a life-threatening condition at one point of time, because you get blisters all over your oral mucosa, genital mucosa for that matter, ocular mucosa. Your food is disrupted, you cannot eat food. And imagine having blisters which burst open, getting secondary infected, you are foul smelling, and that infection gets into your blood and you end up with sepsis and multi-organ failure and you die. This was the situation around 10 to 15 years back.
Oh my
But
God.
now we have multiple new molecules which we are using to treat this kind of patients, which are in the form of biologicals. Okay. It has transformed the entire spectrum of treatment of pemphigus. So leprosy, well, it's very much there, it is not gone. Okay. And it's again a big social stigma, especially when middle class and upper middle class come and they are hit with the diagnosis of leprosy, they cannot digest it. Okay. And good part now is ki, well, awareness is there ki if there's loss of sensation, come. But at village level, what happens is they sometimes you might not really have patches on the body, you just have loss of sensations on the hands and feet, and they really don't know where to go, right? So they end up going to a general physician, or they end up going to maybe BHMS, I mean anything who's a general. But the problem is more of skin. Leprosy is a condition which affects the skin and nerves both. So we still have patients who come with bad non-healing ulcers on the foot. So we admit them, we do their dressings, we get them healed. So dermatology is not only cosmetology.
That dermatology is not just skin, it's life and death.
Yes.
So we talk about leprosy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's
They
one
come-
more example that we are dealing with. So what I want to say is a person who wants to take up dermatology as a subject should not forget ki you just cannot, like, you know, the horse, it has its blinds. So you are just going to do this much work. Okay. No, because at times in your clinic, people are going to walk into your clinic with maybe certain other problems also. You need to be open, receptive, to be able to deal with them also. Simultaneously do your aesthetics. Okay. Do your cosmetic work, do your dermatosurgery, do everything. But at the same time, don't forget your roots. Okay. Because sometimes your roots might help you in tackling the problems. Like, for example, like patient, he's having hemophilia or something, which is a disorder where the patient will be bleeding a lot. So unless you don't take a proper history and don't choose your patient properly for procedures, you might end up with a patient bleeding on table when you're doing a dermatosurgery. So does a quack take all this into picture? No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't forget your roots. Your roots are going to save you. So many times what happens, like people go to quacks, they end up with burns on their face. You know? Laser burns or chemical peel burns. So how are you going to treat them? Okay, you will be able to treat them only when you know what is skin healing, how the skin repairs, what is the time required, what level of pigmentation this patient is achieved, whether it is superficial damage, deep damage, and accordingly you will be able to treat them. Na? So when you attempt doing a procedure, please know what consequences it's going to have, and you should have a plan to tackle these consequences. And this is what we teach in our institute when you are undergoing a MD degree or a DVD degree. This is a holistic approach which is taught. So you cannot have shortcuts. Okay. So as a dermatologist, please remember, you need to know everything, but you can choose your passion. Okay. So now again, if I have to emphasize, it's not just aesthetics. We have dermatosurgery as one of the option which you can like take up. So here we deal with maybe acne scars, we are dealing with lipomas, we are dealing with scar revision surgeries, earlobe repair we are doing. Okay, cyst removal, mole removal. So these are minor surgeries which we are also doing. So there, that avenue is also there. So if you are a surgeon hand but didn't get to take surgery and landed up in dermatology, you have these prospects later on. If you have that little geeky mind, you like pathology as a subject, there is one more avenue where there is something which is called as dermatopathology, you know. So a dermatologist actually does the biopsy, and he actually reads that under the microscope and identifies that this is the problem that the patient is having, and he is in a better position to treat as compared to those who have not having or not been trained in doing or reading the slides. So I have undergone a 1-year course in dermatopathology
Oh,
also.
lovely.
So for that reason, I can actually see under the microscope what exactly is happening. So sometimes we might not even be able to give a direct diagnosis to the patient, but what is seen under the microscope gives us a clue as to this medicine will work for this patient. You know,
Oh,
so
that's great.
it increases the capacity of within me to treat the patient when I know what is happening even at a microscopic level. So this is one more thing which you can, like, you know, branch out into, right? And then now we are also having a lot going on in hair transplant. Okay. So
That's also a part of dermatology.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So I have quite a few of my students who have pursued this as a fellowship in hair transplant.
Okay.
Because they had a passion to do it. Because see, not everyone can do hair transplant because you need to stand for hours together. Okay. It's a teamwork. Okay. So unless you are not passionate about that, you will not be very fond of doing it because it's monotonous. Okay. You just need to be doing the surgeries day in, day out, refine yourself. But like as a dermatology, you have too many options to explore after you even finish your MD degree. But 15 years down the line, you know how it was? It was an abandoned subject. Okay. Why? Because all would think dermatology is itching, means antihistamine medicines. Dermatology is steroids. Okay. And we were looked inferior.
Yeah, I'm sure of that because back
Yes.
then it was about either becoming a surgeon or
surgeon, radiologist, maybe
yeah,
gynecologist
gyne-
was the thing
Gyne-
everyone wanted to.
yeah.
And dermatology like would not go. I
Even
think now
dentistry
dermatology
or
goes at the top ranks. Huh?
okay.
In all entrance exam, top rankers take up dermatology
Is
and
it?
radiology.
Oh wow.
This is the what do you say,
Shift
the shift
that
in the
you're seeing.
mindset.
Okay.
And there are reasons behind it.
Okay.
Fair reason is ki you kind of can have a 9 to 5 lifestyle.
Yeah.
No emergencies. Okay.
Absolutely.
And if you're the glamoury person, you can get into aesthetics. But even if you're not into it, you can have your work-life balance in this field. Okay. So you do have your adrenaline runs in dermatology when you are doing your procedures and stuff like that. It's a pretty balanced thing. So if
choice.
you are getting an opportunity, if you are a good ranker, then this is the
best field for you.
Best field for you.
Okay, now something that because मेरा तो पढ़ाई हो चुका है, so everyone who wants to study, please, they've heard it all.
Yes.
Something fun that I want to do is that give me at least 3 to 5 myths about, say, let's take a mix about people coming to you. उनके दिमाग में क्या होता है जो नहीं होना चाहिए और स्ट्रेट अवे उठ के आपको डर्मेट के पास आना चाहिए, ऐसे कुछ 2-4 चीजें. एंड देन मिथ्स अबाउट प्रोडक्ट्स कि ये बहुत ही ज्यादा ऐसा कुछ होता है मैजिकल, एंड एनी thing that you want to like debunk right now. So this section of our podcast, we call it myth debunking.
Okay.
So give me at least 3 to 5 things so that can be a little takeaway for people from you.
Okay. So why people don't want to come to dermat? They feel ki dermats are going to write very expensive medications. Okay. So what they want to do is basically ask their fellow friends what they're doing and try to follow that routine. Okay. That's one. Second thing is we deal with fungal infections, you know, quite a lot. So see, fungal infection commonly comes in your groin region. So it's very embarrassing for people to actually go and
express it. Yeah.
Express it and show.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
That's the biggest barrier. And for females to go to a male dermat, is a big no.
Yeah.
Okay, for a male to go and show a female is embarrassing.
Right.
So in this situation, we try to like have a male attendant with us when we are seeing a male, and for males there's a female attendant who we have to have when we are seeing a female.
So female to female and male to male.
So that comfort zone for certain dermatological condition which affects the private areas, people don't want to go there and they want a quick fix. So they go to the medical store saying कि मुझे यहाँ पे खुजली हो रही है, you know. So and that is where they end up using products which are having steroid in it, and then they keep on applying it over there for years altogether because steroid reduces age. And you know, later on what they come up to us with, कि after stopping the skin has become red, you have multiple stretch marks over there, and the problem at the end of 6 months, at the end of 1 year is not resolved in them, and now multiple family members are having the same issue because it's an infection which has got transferred to everyone, and there are families who have spent thousands of rupees then in treatment to get this rectified.
So just go to a dermat, find your comfort zone, that will be provided.
Go and take treatment
from the chemist.
Please. Please.
They are not proper
They
dermats.
can only suggest. There are many conditions which look identical. So a fungal infection in the groin area may not be fungal infection. It could be even inverse psoriasis in that area. It could be a genetic disease which is called as Haley disease.
Okay.
It could be a mixed infection like intertrigo. Okay. So not everything which happens in one area has to be fungal only. Okay. So please get this out कि there are prototypes in everything. अगर ये है तो यही है. Okay, that's one thing. Some funny things, funny myths I can tell you.
Yeah, the third one.
Yes. People with vitiligo.
Okay.
They come saying कि they have this doubt कि फिर milk stop कर दे? Should we stop curds? Should we stop everything which is white in color? And I'm like, why? Because you got a white patch.
It's not like that?
No, it's not that way. It's got nothing to do with your milk. It's got nothing to do with anything white. It's basically the pigment producing cells over there have got damaged because of your process of autoimmunity. Okay. So your white blood cells, which are the cells which are your soldiers of your body, they are wrongly targeting your pigment producing cells.
Okay.
So many people come with this weird kind of things. They have stopped eating this, they have stopped doing this, and still they're getting. And to highlight this, chicken pox. You know chicken pox?
Yes.
Yes. So I had one patient who came saying, I told him, you got chicken pox, okay? We call it as varicella, but locally we tell ki chicken pox ho gaya. So he told me, madam, but मैं तो vegetarian हूँ ना, मैं तो chicken खाता ही नहीं, मुझे कैसे हो गया chicken pox? So I'll tell you, it's like fun. I mean, a consultation, if you actually interact with your patients, they give you a lot of things which are funny. They are sometimes eye openers for you. You can actually learn from what things they are saying. You need not repeat those mistakes, you know. Their mistakes are you are learning, you know. So dermatology, I think all consultations, you know, if you have time with your patients, then all consultations are really nice.
A learning session.
They are learning sessions,
even for the
they are
doctors.
fun sessions, they are stress relieving sessions, I may say.
Yeah, because people come with a lot of big images of things, you know, कि शायद से ये ऐसा होगा, वैसा होगा, मुझे ये होगा, और वो निकलता कुछ इतना सा ही है, और हम अपने आप को इतना डरा देते हैं.
हाँ, उससे मैं बताती हूँ, like moles, sometimes they are growing in size, okay, leg पे है या कुछ, and then you'll do the Google doctor. Yes, you will put that image, and Google 100% is going to tell you कि that could be a melanoma, which is a skin malignancy.
Okay.
And then till the time you don't go to a dermat, you don't get it checked, you don't get a dermoscopy done, or you don't get it biopsy, you're going to spend sleepless night thinking कि अभी ये melanoma है, इसकी वजह से मुझे metastasis होने वाला है, मैं मरने वाला हूँ. I have seen people like this, you know.
Even I do that. For anything, I'll just first put it on the Google and I'll ask. But yeah, of course, thanks to again to platforms which are coming up from genuine doctors, they're putting out now reels and stuff like that, wherein I'm able to see and say कि अच्छा ये तो नहीं करना है. And now when I've spoken to you now, तो I know तो ये तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना है कि Google doctor को नहीं पूछना है.
No, see, you just make yourself more anxious by reading about things which might not be really applicable to you. Okay. So, and making your anxiety level go to the peak just doesn't help at all.
This entire conversation in a very good basket of things is that thank you very much for letting, at the first place, educating us the fact that dermatology is not just one section. You all also deal with life and death and lot of very critical situations. Thanks for letting us know of how skin is your probably image or your immediate mirror image of what's happening inside you. So immediately seek one. Thank you a lot for again putting light on things like, you know, whom to go to and whom not to go to, and you know what quackery is all about and how people are right now you know being misled towards a lot of things.
Don't go by influencers, please.
Yes, don't go by the
because
influencers, please.
Everyone is getting the products to be tried and there is something which is going to be benefiting them.
Absolutely.
Which may not benefit you if it doesn't suit you.
And
don't go by ratings also.
Yeah, don't go by ratings also. And
because
don't make Google your doctor.
Yes, no Google doctor.
No Google doctor.
Yes.
And at the same time, thanks very much, because the last part of the conversation really made me understand is that it's so important that you just go to a dermat. Maybe once in 6 months should be good enough, because then we also keep changing in season wise.
Yes, seasonal changes are there. As we age, our requirements might change. I mean, there are people who had oily skin and then suddenly they have like dry skin.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, which is great. So, thank you very much, Bhavna, for coming and putting such a huge light on this little part of us. And really, I mean, like, I wasn't really expecting so much to, you know, come out of the conversation, but you spoke so passionately. And thanks so much for your contribution.
Yes, I want to thank you because through you, I have an opportunity to address all my what do you say, fellow citizens, to be more specific. Please be aware of what in whose hand you are giving your skin. Okay, please be vigilant about quacks and quackery which is happening. I'm not very specific for dermatology, this was because it's my field, but there are quacks in all fields who are existing. So please look for correct degrees of any specialty that you want to actually visit. Okay, now optometrist is not a ophthalmologist, please. Okay, so that way please remember, you have to be knowledgeable enough. Check out, do your research. Use Google for research. There I will not say don't use, because at least search like what degree is correct for
degree
you to,
for the person to go and approach.
So Google is not bad also.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just don't overdo things. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But really, thank you so much. You've put in so much of education into us, and you know, I really hope that a lot of people, you know, actually now understand the importance of having the right kind of skincare and the right kind of skin diseases, and then what to get scared of, not to get scared of. So, thanks so much, Bhavna.
Yeah, whenever you are in doubt, please visit your doctor
and visit your dermat.
Yes, no, for skin, but don't keep the doubts lingering to a point where it becomes or it goes beyond treatment.
That's again one really good thing,
because
that you put light
there
onto.
are some conditions, some malignancies, you know, where if you go at a very timely instance, and I'll tell you, there are some malignancies which we dermat can also pick up very easily. Okay. So I'm not boasting, but it's true. But forget dermats, there are some signs of malignancy which our body is telling. Means you have paleness of the skin, you have got loss of appetite, you are having this bone pains and all. Please don't take these things lightly. Don't postpone it for tomorrow, because if these things are picked up very early, you have a very good and a fair chance to fight this condition and to bounce back.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
really, like, this whole conversation has been so contributing, And probably we look forward to really calling you back, and maybe at that point in time we'll talk something else and something more, so we can elaborate certain things.
Yes.
But thank you so much for bringing light into a field like this, and taking us in depth, right from skincare to what a career can be in dermatology.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Bhavna.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes.
you. Spectrum Stories is all about getting such people who contribute towards your life and making it much more better. Tell us in our comments, what would you like to know more about, and we will try and interview that person on this podcast. Dr. Bhavna Doshi, was amazing to have conversation, and I'm sure there's a lot that you took home today. So go and look for the right kind of dermats or right kind of degrees for yourself, and don't fall for the quacks, is what she says. I'll see you in the next episode with something more interesting. Until then, you know where to like, you know what to subscribe, and just hit that bell button so that you're always updated with the new episode. See you soon.